Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Now, of course, the big news yesterday on the Kapiti Coast and around New Zealand, it was on television, on national radio, on our radio first thing yesterday at lunchtime, is Air Chathams is going to provide us with a service out of Kapiti. So we've got Duane Emeny from Air Chathams on the telephone line. Good morning, Duane.
G'day, how are you?
I'm well. Sitting in the sun in Auckland, goodness gracious me, you got a hangar up there that you, service the planes with, do you?
Yes, we've got a reasonably large-sized operation up here. It's our maintenance facility, flight operations, and we run all the res for all our mainland operations out of here as well.
So how many planes have you got, Duane?
14 at last count.
Goodness. Is it going to grow, or is that about your limit?
Yeah, well, it's been a good sort of 3 to 4 years. On the back of Wanganui, we bought the Saab 340 and we purchased another 2 of those at the start of this year, and obviously one of those we'll be using on the Kapiti Coast very soon.
Oh, excellent. And I see you go to where's it, Norfolk Island now and again too with tours. So do you use the Saab there or you use a bigger plane?
Yeah, so we're sort of just slowly building into that market with charters to start with, and we tend to use the larger 50-seat Convair for that. It's got better legs than the Saab 340. It's about a 600-mile sector, so it's actually the same distance as flying from Auckland to the Chatham Islands.
The only reason I'm mentioning this before we get to the Kapiti part is just to let people know that you do extend to routes that people most probably have never ever thought about. So we'll talk about that later. But 36 flights a week between Auckland and Kapiti, that's a big number of flights, 1,152 seats. Do you think you get 70% loadage on that, do you think, Duane?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. All our sort of initial modelling is looking very positive. We draw a lot of parallels from the Kapiti Coast to Wanganui. So we're not going to be doing anything too much differently there, and provided we get the good parochial support that these regional communities generally have, then we see it being as successful, possibly even better than Wanganui. That's the goal.
Yes, I suppose it will depend a lot on marketing of it, around our surrounding areas. I'm thinking of Paraparaumu up in the Horowhenua, that sort of area. That's got to be got out there, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I think there's some real benefits in time with Transmission Gully coming online. It's going to make it a lot easier for people in Paraparaumu, especially towards the south, to get north and fly out of Kapiti, and that's the challenge for us, is to build into that market, and we've got to do that through good service, reliability, fair pricing.
Well, Air New Zealand reckon they couldn't make a go of it, but you guys are fairly confident that you will make a success of this event. So do you give it so many months before you say, right, let's review the whole system again?
Well, you're always reviewing it, and we always have a weekly report on all the services we offer coming through, so we've got a good idea of how it's tracking, and so we'll be doing that. And for us, it's just keep building, and like I say, deliver a good service and integrate well with the community, and word of mouth will travel from there. Yeah,
sure. Of course, we'd like to see more tourists down here, and I suppose that's a market that you'd try and get into, would you? The local community will try and get into to fill up those seats.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've worked with RTOs, regional tourist organisations in the past, to look at trying and bring tourists directly from Auckland into the regions. So there's a lot of tried and true strategies around that, and we'll be working with your council to see what we can do in that space.
The timing of your flights are pretty convenient too. I'm just thinking, when you travel overseas to fly out of Kapiti into Auckland across to the international terminal, and a lot of these flights that you've got tie in with their timetables, or if you're coming back from overseas, it ties in nicely to come back to the Kapiti Coast, and I think that's a big plus for us here on the coast. Yeah,
we're not reinventing the wheel too much there. We just based it around what we've done out of Wanganui, and it's worked there. So it's giving that business time connectivity, and also some more favourable options to the leisure travellers, so they're not having to get out of bed at 5 a.m. to catch a flight, which is important. So we hope it'll work well, and but at the end of the day, we're open to feedback too. If the community's got some ideas, by all means, get in touch with us.
Yeah, sure. So these flights, I was just thinking, $69, that's a very reasonable price. Is that going to stay at $69, or is this an introductory amount?
Yeah, well, I think as a lot of your listeners will find, a lot of those $69 fares there now, and it was an introductory level. As people snap those up, obviously the fares will increase slightly, but they're there now, so I encourage you to get online and have a look and see what you can find.
Yeah, sure. So you actually go through, there's a thrifty fare, isn't there, that's a little bit dearer, about 130 odd, then you go to the full economy, 318.
Yeah, so there's a thrifty fare, which is you use it or lose it fare. Then it goes up to the saver, which has some flexibility. Can be changed at a cost, and then the full economy is the most expensive fare because if you decide you don't want to travel, you give us a call and we'll refund it.
Yeah, sure. And you can get a multi-purpose fare too, can you? Like buy, just for instance, a voucher 10 trips or something like that?
Yeah, the multi-pass.
Multi-pass.
It's been really popular for us, especially business community, but also families. It's a great way if you've got kids that might be studying up in Auckland, you want to buy a 10-seat pass, and then whenever they want to pop home for the weekend, you give them your voucher number and they go online, make the booking through our website, and it's very, very easy. So that's been a popular product for us. Yeah,
sure. And you got good support from the local community, and also it sounds like the government are going to help out a wee bit too with some regional funding from Shane Jones's pocket. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely the local community. I think we've had great support working with Kapiti Coast Airport. And of course the council, we've had some support as well, as you know, from Air New Zealand. So I think it is time for central government to really look at the support they provide the regions and step up and make that obligation.
Yeah, so is Air New Zealand, I would say, looking at it, been reasonably fair, haven't they? Sort of putting in $50,000. It doesn't sound a great deal, I suppose, when you're marketing, but it's a big help, and also getting use of the terminal for a year's free.
Yeah, Air New Zealand recognised that the time frame for the withdrawal was less than ideal, and they wanted to really make amends for that. So they've worked very closely with us on a number of fronts, both operational, marketing, some assistance with start-up costs, the equipment, the bulk of it remained at the airport for our use. And I think in terms of their support, it has been at a very good and helpful level.
And staffing of the terminal, will you use, what was Air New Zealand staff, I suppose, with that experience, will you?
We're just working through that at the moment, but we currently use JMP, which is the provider, was the provider at Kapiti. We use them throughout the country in Whakatane, Wanganui as well,
right.
So we're in discussion with them about that at the moment.
So we look forward to August the 20th when you're flying in. What time are you coming in that day?
Yeah, we're still sort of working some plans around that. So obviously we're looking at a open day in that first week of August. I think Sunday the 5th is the target date for that, although it's still to be confirmed.
Yeah.
And we'll probably fly the aeroplane down on the Sunday the 19th. There may be some promotion around that as well, and then our first commercial flight will be Monday, August the 20th, so really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I bet you we are. Well, Duane, we thank you very much for providing us with this service, and we look forward to supporting it the best we can so we can fill up those 800 seats necessary to make it a viable proposition.
Thank you very much, and thanks for your time.
Duane Emeny, he's one of the executives of Air Chathams.
106.3 Beach FM.